Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to do the next deep dive into a board game called Shogun. And Shogun is one of the games that inspired me to do this little video series where I look at specific things within games and highlight why they're great. And there's a couple of things within this game that are done in an exceptional way, that are designed in a fantastic way, that I think they are a cut above other games and they need shouting out. So we're going to go into them today. So let's start with the main one, the one that inspired this video series altogether. Right guys, so in most area control strategy board games, you are going to be fighting for control of the territories by maneuvering your armies and playing cards or rolling dice to determine the outcome. In Shogun, you have the battle tower, which is essentially sort of a dice tower, but in this case you are throwing cubes into the tower itself, and these cubes represent your armies. So your armies on the board will be picked up and thrown into the tower, and what comes out at the bottom is the outcome. You'll be looking primarily at three colours: 1, the attacker's colour; 2, the defender's colour; and 3, the green, which are essentially the peasants and the standard citizens that also fight for the defender if you haven't taxed their province or taken their food. And this essentially battle tower is exceptional. Now, I believe the predecessor to this game was Wallenstein, but I never played it. Shogun was my first introduction to this essential mechanism, and it is outstanding. It's tense. It makes you doubt whether you're going to come out on top. You can go up against an opponent 4-1. And in other games, you can feel like you're guaranteed victory. In Shogun, you can go 10-1, and it might not come out the way that you anticipate. That is a cool system. Now, it's not unfair. It's done in a way where it will balance out eventually. And I'll explain more in a minute. But it adds a lot of tension and a lot of strategy into your decisions, because you can't just outnumber your enemy and attack and guarantee victory. You need to think, is it worth the risk? Is it worth committing your army, in this case, to attack the enemy if most of them might not come back? Maybe they desert, or maybe they show up in a later battle, which I'll explain now. So what happens is, when you attack a province in Shogun, you collect up the armies, the troops that you are sending, as well as the defenders, and you throw them into the battle tower. And what rolls out at the bottom is obviously the outcome. You determine the difference, and the winner is the one that has the highest difference. So if one side has 6 cubes, the other side has 4 cubes, the side with 6 cubes wins, and 2 survive. How this is important is because when your cubes come out, obviously you're given the outcome straight away, and those ones that are defeated or eliminated, they return to your pools immediately. But any that remain in the tower itself, haven't come out yet, can influence further battles in the future where you are involved. So what happens when your cubes come out on somebody else's battle where you're not involved is they simply sit in the tray and stay there, and they get thrown in with the next battle. The cubes of your colour, when they come out, will only be relevant for battles involving you. So any cubes that fall out in future battles might aid you in a fight where you're struggling. They might help you when you're defending your territories against somebody else. This random element that you can't control, like a dice roll, is exhilarating. It is entertaining. It is fun. And everybody's watching the tower for the outcome. Even if you have no stake in the battle at all, it engrosses you and pulls you in. And it's such a cool design. Well thought out, well designed. And the fact that any cubes that don't come out, they're not necessarily lost. They might help you in the future. That is a really good balancing mechanic where essentially you're not punished for them not coming out right away. It can benefit you in the long term to have some of your cubes in that tower to influence future battles, maybe even defensive ones. And that in itself can be an imposing presence on the board. You might not have many armies in your province, but all the players at the table know that 10 of your cubes are in that tower, and any one of them could come out at any time. So they might send 3 men against 2, but you could have plenty of reinforcements that drop out and help you. And this is really enthralling. It's really enjoyable. And it's quite stressy to throw your armies into that tower and not know what the outcome is going to be. Overwhelming your opponent by more and more troops doesn't guarantee you'll win. So it's a really wicked and excellent design that I highly regard. And the added element of the green cubes, which represent the neutral people, the villagers, the farmers, that will defend your province if you are attacked and you haven't taxed them for the various resources, is an extra element to consider. If the greens are going to defend and help the person who's being attacked, you need to factor that into your thoughts as well. Is it worth risking the greens coming out as well as their colour? It's just an exceptional design, and it was the first one that came to my mind when I did this series, when I'm going through these games and telling you the best parts of them, what I love. And you know what? I haven't seen this replicated in any other board games. The second thing that I think is outstanding in this game is the action mechanic, where you have a board with all of your actions in front of you. They're all preset actions you can take. Everybody has the same board layout. And what you're doing is you're placing your provinces, which are cards representing all the different provinces you own. You are placing them onto those different spots on your action board to take those appropriate actions in those provinces. So if I take the province of Tamba and I place it face down on the recruiting troops, the troops that I recruit will be deployed in Tamba. If I take the province of Hoki and place it on the temple space, I'm building a temple in Hoki. And the actions are very important. The construction of the victory point buildings, the castle, the temple, and the theatre, the North Theatre, these are very important actions. The recruiting of your troops and strategically placing them where and when you need them within your empire, within your territories, which might not necessarily be consolidated together, is an exceptionally important thing. And then, on top of that, taxing your peasants for food or money to keep your empire going is also a very critical and important thing in the game. So when you factor all of these different strategies and important things you must factor in, when you're placing your provinces on the board, it is important to bear in mind where you're placing them, what you want to do with them. Is that province already taxed? Are you going to have to put up with the rebellion if you do it again? Are you going to upset the locals? There's so much depth and strategy to this mechanism. And I think it's outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Then the game takes it a step further, which is the third thing that I want to discuss, which is the turn order. So all of the different actions you can do on your board, they are not scripted. You don't do them in a set order. When you play your turn, the order in which those actions are executed are randomized. There is a deck of cards representing all of the actions, which is laid out at the bottom of the board, and the order is obviously random. The first 5 are revealed to you. You know what's going to happen and in which sequence. The last 5 are hidden, so you have no idea in which order these actions will be executed. And where this becomes very strategic and important is of determining where you need to put your troops to reinforce them before your enemies attack your provinces. And where do you start your attack? And can you do it before your enemy reinforces those places? There's a lot of thinking about where those different actions fall in that sequence, and can you execute them in the nick of time when you need to. It's really deep and really, really ingenious. And those are the 3 things that really stand out to me in Shogun. They are the things that make me want to recommend this game, want to talk about this game, want to highlight this game. It's just a streamlined, exceptional design and an exceptional board game. I'm so glad to have it in my collection. So there's not much more to go into. Obviously, you understand what they are and why I like these features. I'm just glad to give it the shout out that it deserves, because Shogun has been in my collection for a very long time and Shogun will be going nowhere. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. There will be more deep dives coming soon. I have a few more great ideas and games that deserve to be added to this list. So watch out for those. Hit the like. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Have you played Shogun? Do you agree with me? Do you like these things or do you not like these things? And become a member if you're interested. And most of all, thank you for watching. And I'll see you all next time.